last week was the first time that I slept 8 hours in one night. And I woke up speechless. Not from confusion, but from relief. Honestly, I've been getting around 4 to 6 hours. I've been through that before, right? College, undergrad, and grad. This one hit a little different. Eventually, my body literally shut down. It was just like, you're not listening to my needs. I'm gonna have to take over. And that was a scary thing. I have never been there before. I've never been that level of exhausted, because I come from the mindset of sleep when you're done. Who came up with that? That's the stupidest thing ever. If you don't sleep, you will die. That's a fact. And so I started seeing that my energy levels just weren't what they used to be, because now I have a lot more responsibility and a lot less time, and things take a lot more effort. I enjoy being a husband. I enjoy being a father. But no one ever tells you or prepares you for the mental shift. It's not for the weak, right? And so for all the fathers out there who are grinding, who are fighting unknown battles, I salute you. Nothing against the mothers. Mothers are doing that too. But I feel like the fathers don't get enough love, because that's what we're supposed to do. Now, I don't have that issue, but I do know people who do. I do know people who live under that, well, what have you done lately type of ordeal. And so that's all tied to this grind culture, this keep going even though your body wants to shut down. There are times where you have to do that, but that's not sustainable. It's not. And it's not healthy long term. Your body will stop. I'm telling you, because mine did. It shut down, and I had to deal with that right then and there, because I had been putting things off for a while, things that I needed to do, and I just wasn't doing them, because I was listening to that old adage that sleep when you die, grind all day, grind all night. And it got me to where I am, but it wasn't gonna hold me and mold me the way that I needed it to. What I used to be able to do was for the time that I needed to do it in. Now I need to go to a different level. And so the conflict that I had internally was, I'm not doing enough. There's not enough time in the day, but there is enough time in the day. You got to keep the main thing. And there's going to be times where you have to make choices about where you put your energy. But as long as you understand your why and your main thing, you'll be fine. I knew all this in the back of my head. This is something that I tell myself all the time. It's something that I'm talking to you about, but yet I didn't practice it. And so my body shut down. Shut down for about 2 to 3 days where I couldn't do anything. I'm too young to be dealing with that, right? No, you're not. If you don't take care of you, it doesn't matter what age you are, rest is super important. Super simple concept. But in my case, I just chose to ignore it, because I'm thinking that one more push, one more go around, one more hour, doing that one more thing could have been very detrimental to me in the long run. So I started treating rest like medicine. But I hate taking medicine, which is probably why I found myself in the situation that I was in. But I needed to treat rest like medicine. I don't want to take it, but it's important for me to do. What can I do so that I can recharge? Basically put my mask on first so I can put on other people's masks. What can I do so that I can be available to other people? And I was like, well, I got to be available to myself. I have to be available to myself. I have to be able to take care of myself in a way that doesn't take away from other people, but also doesn't take away from me, which is very difficult to do when you are charged with taking care and keeping things afloat. The beautiful thing is that you don't have to do it by yourself. For the first time in a very long time, I don't have to do things by myself anymore. One day a week, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep. And that's the little wins. I'm going to start little. I'm going to start right there. And I'm going to make sure that I do that for myself, because that's important. It's important that I take care of me. And it's important that you take care of you. You carve out a little bit of time. You know, I always give you guys 3 keys, right? The first thing that I did was I created this thing called sleep hygiene for myself, right? And that's basically what I told you guys about. The sleep hygiene portion basically says 1 day a week you got to get 8 hours. 1 will turn to 2. 2 will turn to 3. And eventually I'll get whatever the recommended number of hours actually is. I have to at least get 1 day of 8 hours of sleep. I don't care how I get it. I don't care what it looks like, but that's important for me, because if I continue to run on fumes, it's going to be a problem. It's like you having a Ferrari and you trying to run it and you don't got no gas in it. Then you're upset. Well, how come it's not running like it should? Because it has no gas, because you haven't done the proper maintenance. That's a highly tuned vehicle. We'll do all this stuff for these other things, but we won't do the same thing for us. That's the conclusion that I came to. I got to do stuff for me now. I have to take care of myself. The second key was that I had to learn the difference between distraction and true rest. You know how sometimes you laying down and you scrolling on Instagram, IG, Snapchat, whatever you're scrolling on, and you're trying to rest. You're supposed to be resting, but you're not, because you're distracted, you're preoccupied. True rest is when you do absolutely nothing. At least for me. That's what I define for me. I'm not watching Netflix. I'm not playing games. I'm not making videos. I'm just doing nothing. And that's a hard thing to do. That do nothing. It's a very hard thing to do. But it's necessary because I was working on something else. I was being a project manager on things I shouldn't have been a project manager on. That was causing a lot of distractions. And those distractions were eating into my restful. But I didn't realize that. I didn't understand that. And my body had to be like, oh, you want to play around? Well, you're going to find out. I protect my sacred recovery time. That's the third key. Protect your sacred recovery time and stick to it. You got to choose you sometimes. You do. And that's not selfish. That's self-care. There's no way that you can function at your highest level of capability if you're not rested. Now, yes, there are periods where you're going to do that, right? There's hell weeks and all these other things that people go through where they sleep deprive themselves. But that's not months on months on months on end. That's a short burst where this is a concentrated effort where we got to get this done. And this is what's going to happen. That's not sustainable. While that might have gotten me here, that won't keep me here. And that's for damn sure. That will shorten my time here. And so I protect that time. And rest looks different to different people. But to me, it's spending time with my loved ones and it's doing nothing else. It's just, hey, let's just not do anything today. Let's order in. Let's turn the TV off. Spend time with yourself. You need rest. We're all exhausted right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. Some people are benefiting from it. Most people are not. And so now more than ever, we need that rest. We need that. You need that. I need that. The DMV needs that. DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's crazy out here. People are just suffering from a lack of rest on many different levels, and it comes out in many different ways. One way is the driving. So if you're in the DMV area, slow down. Get you some rest where you can. Easier said than done, but the simplest things are sometimes the hardest things to accomplish. So I just want to let you know that we all out here dealing with something that no one knows. And the only way to really maintain in this difficult time that we are in as a people, as a country, as a world, is to make sure that you have self-care for you somehow, some way. But you already know what to do. Until next time, stay motivated.